My NFL regular season weekly recaps are finally here.
Let's go!
Get all the action of the NFL in just a couple of minutes. And remember, if you don't want to miss out on next week's video, subscribing to Pro Football Vision is a great idea. Anyways, the second week of the season begins with this AFC West showdown. LA took a 2-score lead with this 15-yard touchdown by Mike Williams, but the Chiefs quickly got that lead cut after a 41-yard touchdown connection between Patrick Mahomes and Justin Watson. The game took a wild turn on this play by Jalen Watson, who took the ball 99 yards into the end zone just as the Chargers were about to add another 7 points to the board. Travis Kelce might have been body slammed, but that's the only win the Chargers got on Thursday since they lost this game 27-24. We then start Sunday with one of the wildest games I've ever witnessed. Devin Duvernay had a dream start to the game, taking the opening kickoff all the way into the end zone for 103 yards. The Dolphins tied the game up, but on the very next play, Rashad Bateman made a statement with this 75-yard touchdown reception. Both teams exchanged touchdowns, and Lamar Jackson took matters into his own feet by the end of the third quarter, scoring a flashy 79-yard touchdown, which was his longest career run. Then things started to crumble for Baltimore. The Dolphins cut the deficit to just 7 on a 48-yard touchdown by Tyreek Hill, and they ultimately tied the game up at 35 with yet another play by Hill, this time going for 60 yards. The Ravens got the lead back with a field goal, but Tua Tagovailoa made sure to complete the comeback on the 7-yard pass to Jalen Waddle to end the game with an impressive score of 42-38. Then we got the Jets visiting the Browns. Nick Chubb opened up the scoreboard on this 4-yard touchdown carry, which was his first out of the 3 scores he had in this game. And on the topic of that, instead of sliding down and getting a game-winning first down, Chubb decided to score this touchdown, which gave the Jets the ball back. The Browns did take a somewhat comfortable 30-17 lead with less than 2 minutes to go, but the Jets came back to life with this 66-yard touchdown by Joe Flacco and Corey Davis, which put the Jets within 1 score, but still, they needed to recover the onside kick to try and win. And well, they did just that, getting a great starting field position for a final drive, which would end up with a 15-yard touchdown reception by rookie Garrett Wilson. Final score was 31-30, Jets win. Then we have Detroit hosting the Commanders. Somehow, we get to see a 5-0 score early in the game, thanks to the safety late in the first quarter. Amon-Ra St. Brown had his first touchdown of the game on this 13-yard touchdown reception, which gave the Lions a 12-0 lead heading into halftime. Carson Wentz tried to come back into this game and found Logan Thomas for a 20-yard touchdown play, which put Washington within a score. However, DeAndre Swift had other plans, getting a 22-yard touchdown to extend Detroit's lead. The Commanders scored once again, but Amon-Ra St. Brown got his second touchdown of the game to seal the deal and get the Lions their first victory of the season with a score of 36-27. Up next, we have the Colts visiting Jacksonville. Please tell me I was not the only one expecting the Jaguars to win this game. They always beat the Colts at home. Even after taking a 7-0 lead, Indy wasn't able to do anything, and James Robinson made sure to help the Jaguars get a much more comfortable lead with this 37-yard carry. The Jags dominated every aspect of this game and sent the Colts literally empty-handed, as they weren't able to score a single point on this 24-0 shutout. The Dogs were barking this week. Moving on, we got this classic matchup. We had a boring first half with only 3 points on the board, and the one chance Tampa had to score was on this 4-1 play from New Orleans' 8-yard line. However, Tampa came to play in the second half, as the first touchdown of the game came on this 28-yard pass by Tom Brady in the middle of the fourth quarter. The Buccaneers then took an unreachable lead late in the game on this 68-yard pick 6. Looks like Winston is still throwing touchdowns to the Bucs, even in 2022. Oh, and per usual, we got our yearly Evans versus Lattimore fight, which got both of them ejected from the game. Anyways, the Buccaneers finally beat the Saints 20-10. Then we got the Giants versus the Panthers. Opening kickoff was a dub for the Giants as Chuba Hubbard fumbled on Carolina's 25-yard line. Both teams exchanged field goals, and the first touchdown of the game came on this 16-yard touchdown reception by DJ Moore early in the second half. The Giants stayed focused and managed to tie the game up on this touchdown by Daniel Jones, and ultimately they got to score a 56-yard field goal to win the game with a final score of 16-19. Then we got a renewed rivalry. In the first half, we saw field goals by both teams, but the game finally kick-started on this beautiful play by Nelson Aguilar, which gave the Patriots a 10-3 lead just before heading into halftime. The Steelers tried to come back into the game with a field goal, but Gunnar Olszewski had other plans, giving the ball right back back to the Patriots in the red zone. He probably forgot he doesn't play in New England anymore, and this play probably costed Pittsburgh the win. Regardless, the Steelers managed to score a touchdown to start the fourth quarter, and Deontay Johnson had a spectacular catch to get his team within a field goal. Still, the Steelers offense never took off, and the Kenny Pickett chants are coming to life. Regardless, the Patriots won with a final score of 17-14. We started a late slate of games over in LA. Darrell Henderson gave the Rams a 14-0 lead with this 8-yard touchdown run, and Cooper Kupp extended that lead to 18 with this 3-yard touchdown. The Falcons came to life in the second half as Marcus Mariota scored an 11-yard touchdown to get within 2 scores, and the comeback continued on this 26-yard special teams touchdown late in the fourth quarter. The game was closer than expected, but Jalen Ramsey killed the comeback on this interception at the goal line. And well, somehow we get to see a rare safety, which was actually a very smart play by the Rams, getting to a final score of 31-27. We head over to the NFC West now. Niners quarterback Trey Lance exited the game early due to a broken ankle, and he's set to miss the rest of the regular season. Jimmy Garoppolo came into the game and got the first touchdown of the matchup on this 38-yard play. The Seahawks tried to start a comeback after a goal line stand, and an amazing blocked field goal returned all the way into the end zone, which got Seattle within 2 scores. The Niners, however, kept them at bay, scoring once again to end the game 27-7. Next up, we got the evidence that the Super Bowl hangover is real. Cooper Rush scored the first points of the game on this 9-yard touchdown, and Tony Pollard extended the Cowboys lead 17-3 to end the first half. Cincinnati slowly came back into this game, tying it up with less than 4 minutes to go in the final quarter. Nevertheless, Dallas got the upper hand at the end with a 50-yard game-winning field goal to send the Bengals home winless. Score was 17-20. Now we get the Broncos hosting the Texans. Russell Wilson just wasn't able to complete passes as he led the Broncos to just field goal drives in the first half. And on top of that, he had this interception to start the third quarter. Regardless, Denver was finally able to score the only touchdown of the game on this 22-yard play early in the fourth quarter. The Texans had 2 shots at winning this game, but they came up short, losing 16-9. Moving on, we have the Cardinals visiting the Raiders. Las Vegas started out hot, scoring a touchdown in the first drive of the game. Derek Carr and company moved the ball well, so well that with this touchdown plus a field goal, they found themselves with a 20-0 lead heading into halftime. But then it all fell apart. The Cardinals made sure to stay in the game, and they got their second touchdown of it in this 1-yard touchdown. They still needed the 2-point conversion to get within 1 score though, and somehow Kyler Murray extended the play for over 20 seconds to ultimately run into the end zone. The Raiders pulled off a goal line stop in the final seconds of the game, but they weren't able to stop Arizona on the last play, which was a 4th goal from the 3-yard line. The 2-point conversion was successful once again, and we're moving on to overtime. The Cardinals won the toss, but the game got away thanks to the offense not being able to convert this 4th-1 in Vegas territory. The Raiders had everything to take the win, and just as they were a couple of yards away from field goal range, Hunter Renfrow fumbled the game away, and the Cardinals got a scoop and scored to end it for good. Final score 29-23, Cards with the comeback. On a Sunday Night Football we go. The Bears took an early 7-0 lead, but Aaron Jones got the Packers on top with this 15-yard touchdown. He then got his second one on this 8-yard touchdown pass by Aaron Rodgers. Justin Fields, along with many NFL fans around the globe, thought this was a touchdown in 4th goal, but the referees didn't agree. What do y'all think? Did he cross the goal line or did he not? I actually think he did, but still, Green Bay proved they can beat Chicago with ease, and this time the game ended up 27-10. And we got a Monday night doubleheader starting over in Buffalo. This game was a straight up heist by the Bills, who took a 17-7 lead before the end of the second quarter. On the last Titans drive of the half, Dane Jackson suffered a gruesome neck injury. He was rapidly sent to the hospital, and thankfully we now know it wasn't as severe as it looked. Anyways, back into the game, Bills had their first punt of the year on this play, and well, they got the ball right back in the red zone. It literally cannot get any better than this. But wait, it can. Buffalo extended its lead to 34 on this 43-yard pick 6 on Ryan Tannehill's final drive of the game. Malik Willis took over in the fourth quarter, and the Buffalo Bills continued their immaculate season start with a final score of 41-7. And now to end the week, we got the Eagles versus the Vikings. Fly Eagles fly. Jalen Hurts launches deep for a wide open Quez Watkins to give Philly a 14-0 lead in the first play of the second quarter. Hurts then got his second touchdown of the day on this amazing 26-yard run to get up by 14. And just as the Vikings were about to cut the deficit later in the game, Darius Slay got an interception and got it back to the 19. The Eagles had a solid drive, but Minnesota special teams came to play, blocking the field goal attempt and taking it back to Philly's 30-yard line. Sadly for the Vikings, that drive would end up with an interception. Jalen Hurts was amazing, but he did have an INT on display in the middle of the fourth quarter. That wouldn't matter though, as the defensive star of the game, Darius Slay, almost got an interception 2 plays later, and then managed to redeem himself themselves on the very next play, this time keeping possession of the ball. The Eagles dominated and they won 24-7. So that's it for my first weekly recap of the regular season. By the way, I also made these kind of videos for preseason games, so if you like this video, you'll probably like the one on screen as well. Anyways, thanks for watching and see you next time.